We're coming to you live from Pastor Dion's truck. He doesn't know that we're here.
But honestly, he parked really close to this and it became a great tailgating spot. So we're just going to hang out in the parking lot and hope you enjoy the weekly show.
We were super pumped. The weather allowed us to visit some really awesome students this week. One crazy thing that we learned over in Parkway, there's like an abandoned house and an old plane and a barn.
Yeah.
If you want more info about that, talk with Avery.
Yeah, talk with Avery and don't do anything illegal.
You didn't hear from us.
You didn't hear from us.
Last week though, because we didn't get to visit students, that was hard. We did, however, show you what our week looks like.
Yeah, we showed you our week, but we realized that there's a student on staff.
So we wanted to go like one step further.
Yeah, so we kind of combined this week and last week's ideas, and we're just going to show you what the daily life of one of our student employees is here at Pathfinder Church.
For the next part of the video, we're going to be really quiet because we don't want to disturb Charlie while he's working. Okay, so shh. Here we see Charlie with the backpack-style blower, making sure that our parking lots stay in peak performance condition. He really wants to make sure that all of the grass and leaves are gone so that the tires can grip really, really well to the road. Now next, Charlie wants to mow the concrete. He's going to do this to make sure that the concrete stays really, really smooth. Hi Charlie, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good, Gramps. Then just a little weed whacking to end the day. Once home, Charlie always plays a little bit of basketball with his younger brother, before moving on to esports, as they call it. Then Charlie eats a quick dinner with his family. It smells delicious. Hey, what's that sound? Oh, it's Charlie playing some guitar. Then finally, laying down in bed with a day well done.
Hey, sorry Charlie, we didn't tell you about that ahead of time, but I'm sure you'll thank us later.
When you become a famous movie star.
When you become a famous movie star. Love you, buddy.
Transition!
When I was in high school, we moved houses, and it was ninth grade, so it was right at the beginning of high school. My parents put these 3 trees in our yard. But I grew up previous climbing these like massive trees, and the trees they put in were kind of dinky, and I was really sad because I couldn't climb on them. And my dad would always say things like, well, in 10 years those things are going to be huge. And I was like,
huge.
I don't care about in 10 years. I want to climb them now.
Yeah.
And so I never wanted to wait for growth.
Sometimes we're eager to just get to the next phase. So if you're in 8th grade, maybe just eager to get to high school. If you're in high school, just eager to get to college, just always wanting that next phase. And the reality is that growth really does take time. Like the seeds that we planted back at the beginning of March.
Yeah, they're little sprouts now.
They're actually just sprouts now. So they're not even flowers yet. It's taken 2 months to just make them sprouts. When we're too eager to get to that next phase, we kind of miss out on the goodness of the phase that we're currently in. So like if we're trying to move on too quickly, we miss out on the goodness around us right now.
Yeah, when you take on a project like that, there's the planning process, there's the beginning, the time where you invest, and there's kind of the end goal, the result that you want to get to. But then there's this long period, sometimes long period in between, where you are growing and working through things, and there's a lot of waiting and maybe uncertainty, like, oh man, is this going to turn out the way I wanted it? And so it's finding in that period where the actual joy of growth is. Because in life, we think that we're always going to be at an end stage, but most of life is in that middle stage, is in the growth.
Were there good things about your new house that didn't relate to the tree? Like, were there good things to experience while you were still waiting on something else to happen?
I mean, for one, it was the first time I didn't have to share a bedroom with my brother, so that was really cool. We also had a giant retention pond in the backyard that was supposed to be a retention pond, but it was at the highest part of our development. So it was just like a giant football field in my backyard because there was no water. So that was kind of fun.
Maybe you find yourself restless where you are in the growth process right now. Maybe that's how you're growing in friendships, how you're feeling about COVID and pandemic and wanting to just like be with everyone all together again. Maybe it's how you're feeling about going from one life stage to another, going from one school to another. We're in summer right now. We're kind of in a middle period. So maybe you're feeling frustrated, and I think that's like a normal feeling to feel in this in-between time. But there's goodness here, and we want to encourage you to see that goodness now.
So now, as an adult, I go back and they really are 3 massive trees that you can climb in, and my mom has like plants hanging from them, and the vision has kind of been realized in that way. So I guess kind of the message is that life has these seasons, and there are important reasons for all of them. And we need them all to really be complete. You can't just skip ahead because you need the growth and you need the maturity and the maturing time. I think there's this process that we are in all the time of growing and planting and maybe seeing how things unfold. But you also look around and you're like, yeah, but every tree was planted at some point. And so there's this bigger story of generational growth of like, my parents are not going to live in that house forever, but now whoever moves in, if they have kids, they're like, oh, these trees are awesome to climb in. Just like when I was a kid, there was already a tree that had been planted and I got to climb in it. And I think we're all in this process of, wow, what am I investing, but also receiving from other people and their investments. And it becomes this kind of beautiful relationship between everybody.
The importance of that in-between stage reminds me of what I learned about a butterfly when I was in college. How, like, you know, as a little caterpillar, they go and they form the cocoon and the chrysalis, and then they like decompose into goo, basically. And then they kind of form into a butterfly, and literally there's this process. So they're already a butterfly in the cocoon, and they have to fight their way out of the cocoon through like a little hole. And if you ever like watch them do it, you almost want to help. Like, you're like, you look like you're really struggling and like you're in pain. Let me like cut the cocoon open so I can help you out. If you do that though, you actually will kill the butterfly, because the process of growing through that hole, of going through that like hard thing, actually pushes blood to their wings as they force their way out, and allows them to actually fly and live the rest of their life as a butterfly. But if you rush that stage, blood doesn't get to the wings, and literally they like flop onto the ground without wings.
Yeah, the frustrating stages of emerging and growing have purpose. Like they it's not like you want to skip ahead. Actually, the thing very often that makes the end work is the growth stage.
Yeah. It's like those trees, they needed those 10 years to become amazing trees.
From Jon, Pua, Dion's truck, and Charlie, we want to wish you a wonderful week, and as we say every week,
Nothing wrong with
Voiceovers
it.
are the future.
Should you do lyrics? Hi guys.
hi Lisa.
Hi Lisa.